Okay, so yesterday we started with the disputes management. We understood the process of disputes management, and we also created some of the dispute cases, right? So if I go to UDM underscore dispute, and if I try to see all those dispute cases which are assigned to my user ID as a processor. So if I double click on this, this will give me the list of all those dispute cases where the processor is my ID. Right, so we created some of the dispute cases, and what we will do now is we will try to understand some of the configurations that are required from the dispute management point of view, and then we will discuss the process in more detail. So although we created the dispute cases yesterday, but we are not understood the entire end-to-end process. So we'll try to see how much we can cover today, and rest of the part we will cover in our next session. So what I'll do is I'll just show you one dispute case as of now. Let me just double click on this dispute case, because whatever configuration I'll be showing to you, that configuration has something to do with this particular transaction code only. Okay, UDM underscore dispute. There are a lot of configurations that we are going to see, which are to be done in order to like the screen, how the screen will appear. All these things depends upon that particular configuration. Okay, so let me show you one by one. So first I'll go to SPRO. Okay, similar to collections management, in disputes management also, we have two subfolders. So if you go to financial supply chain management, dispute management, you can see there are two subfolders. Okay, one is the common at the client level, and second is related to the AR accounting. So here you need to specify which company codes you want to activate for the disputes management with. Okay, so these are the common settings, and these are the settings which are more likely related to the FI integration. So first I will go to this dispute case processing. Okay, and let's try to understand the configurations, okay, in a sequential manner. Wherever it is not applicable, I'll tell you to skip as of now. Okay, and if required, we will discuss it later on. So number one, this is just the documentation which is just saying make the settings in the accounting. So if you want to flow the data from AR to disputes, okay, and whenever you are creating a dispute case and you want to link your dispute case to the accounting document, then definitely this is a configuration which is required under the AR section. So if you just see this document, it is just telling you to do this configuration under the process integration with AR, which means for integration settings, you have to do the configuration under this node. Okay, so this is just a documentation which is reminding you that in addition to the client level settings, which you are doing here, you may need to do the settings for company code also if you want to integrate your FSCM component with FI. Okay, and then you have second one is create RMS ID. This you will find even in credit management also. If you remember, even in credit management, we discussed in the case that there is a RMS ID, which means whenever you are creating any particular case in credit also there is a case, right? Similarly, in the dispute also there is a case. RMS stands for record management system. Okay, what do you mean by record management system? So whenever we are saying we are creating a dispute case, okay, so definitely there will be a department who is responsible for these disputes. This department will get different number of dispute cases. So if you want to segregate the dispute cases with credit cases, definitely we need to have a separate folder to keep those things, right? So when you say record management system, in this record management system, the one area that we use for credit management, dispute management, everywhere we normally use, even in collections management for promise to pay, we use this case management. Okay, this is area s underscore area underscore cmg, which normally we don't need to touch, we don't need to create our own. But if required, if you want to make some small changes and you don't want to do at the case, like you don't want to do at the client level, then you can create a copy of this. Okay, but I will not create this copy. I'll show you more related things rather than creating a new record management system. Okay, so just remember the standard one which is pre-delivered is s underscore area cmg for case management. Okay, and if required, you can create your own RMS, but as of now, we should not go into that because that is a completely technical thing. Okay, and then I will skip this as of now and I will talk from here. So all these things I'll explain you, including the case type. These are all very important things that you may need to change when you are working on the project. Okay, so before I show you this attribute profile, case search, functional profile, text profile, status management, let's understand where exactly these things are used. Okay, so if you go to the case type, okay, again, if you remember, we discussed there are standard case types pre-delivered by SAP. So for disputes management, SAP has pre-delivered F_DM, right? For promise to pay, SAP has pre-delivered F_PP. For credit limit request, SAP has pre-delivered F_CR. So although we can directly start using this, but in this example, because I just want to show you one entire case management scenario, I will take this dispute management and I'll create my own. Okay, so what I'll do is I will maybe create a copy of this F_DM and create my own case type. Okay, so let's say Z_DM. Okay, and as of now, I'm keeping all the other settings as it is, but we will go one by one. We will try to change the attribute profile. We will try to change the functional profile, status profile, and we will assign those Zly created profiles here in our Z like custom created case type. Right, so you can see this attribute profile, functional profile, status profile, text profile, action profile, everything we are using in this case type. So if I open another screen, let's keep it together so that we are able to understand it clearly. So within FSCM, dispute management, if I go to the first folder, so I'm talking about these different profiles. These profiles I'm creating here, and then once they are created, I'm assigning these profiles in the case type. Okay, so this attribute profile fin_disp is something which is pre-delivered by SAP. So if you just go to IMG and if you go to the attribute profiles, create attribute profile, here you will be able to see f_, or fin_disp, which is the standard delivered attribute profile from SAP. Okay, so again, I will just create a copy of this. Okay, and I'll just replace fin with Z. So Z_disp is what I'm creating. Just make a note of this table here. This is a standard table which has different fields. Just give me a minute. Yeah. So this particular attribute profile is using this table. Okay, what exactly is this table? I'll come back to you. Let me first save this, because once we understand this, then only you'll be able to understand the table. So I'll say copy all, because I want to copy all the dependent entries. Dependent entry means now if you go to this attribute profile and double click on this attribute group, this is what is the dependent entries. Okay, and if I go to assign attributes, you'll be able to see this different attributes here. Now what exactly is attribute? Attribute is nothing but just think about the fields. Attribute means fields. So whenever you are processing any case, let's assume this is our case. See what is happening, there are different fields here. First of all, this header section, header data, this is a group. Under this header data, we have this many number of fields. Okay, same way you can see this is configured from here. So first is group. We have only one group, that is header data. Within our header data group, we have these many fields. Right, within the header data group, we have this many fields, and in order to see the fields, what you will do is you will go to the assign attributes. You can see these are all the attributes, which means the fields which are appearing in the UDM_dispute transaction. So you can see the first field is title, second field is customer, third field is case type. You'll be able to see all these fields. They are actually controlled from this particular configuration. Okay, even the sequencing, you can see the sequencing. So for example, title is available in row number 1 and column number 1. So there are only 2 columns. If you see here, in this case, there are 2 columns. This is column number 1 and this is column number 2, right? So these are the fields in column 1 and these are the fields in column 2. So title field is coming under row 1, column 1. What about company code? Company code is row 1 and column 2. Okay, let's go and see in the configuration. Company code field, which is BUKRS, it is coming under row number 1 and column number 2. So this is to control your field status in short. If you worked on SAP FI, you must be knowing field status group. Okay, so which field is mandatory, which field is optional, which field is hidden, you can control from here. Required means this field is a mandatory field. Invisible means this field is not visible, which means it is hidden. Okay, whether the field will show you the drop down, whether the field will check, is there a checkbox available? So you can specify all those controls from this particular screen. Okay, you can control which field will appear where. So for example, title is currently appearing as row number 1, but let's assume I want to change this. I want to change this to second field. So similarly, what I need to do is I need to make the change to the first field also. So if I want to replace this title, the second field, and customer should be my first field. So what should I do? Title would be row number 2, column number 1, and customer should be row number 1, column number 1. So let's do that settings. Let's find out where is the customer. It should be in row 2 and column. Yeah, this one. You can see Kunnar. So row number 2 and column number 1. So I'm changing this to row number 1 and column number 1. So this has become my second field and this has become my first field. Now if I change this, if I try to save it, okay, but again just remember we are making the change in the attribute profile z_disp, and currently what we are using in this case is the standard one. Okay, so it will not make any difference here. This will only be applicable once we assign this particular attribute profile to our case type. Okay, so just for example's sake, what I'll do is, so that you should be very clear what exactly is happening, I will first save this and I will make the same change in the standard attribute profile also, just to demonstrate, and later on we will change it. So even if you are doing anything in the standard one, make sure that once you verified your scenario, you come here again and change it to the standard. Okay, so in my case, this is a standard delivered. I will open this and I will change this to row number 2, and my row number 1 would be Kunnar, which is customer. Okay, let's try to save this. Okay, and next time just concentrate on this. Just concentrate on this title and customer. It should be now customer should be the first field and title should be the second field. Let's try to open another one. So UDM underscore dispute. Okay, and if I do the same thing, my dispute cases, and if I open any dispute case, you can see now customer is appearing as the first field and title is appearing as a second field. So in short, what exactly do you mean by attribute profile? Attribute, just remember attribute equal to fields. What fields you want to see in your UDM underscore dispute transaction, and what should be the flow, in which row, in which column your field should appear. Okay, that is exactly what you are doing in the attribute profile. Okay, so there is only one group as of now. If you see this one, there is only one group, that is header data. If you want to create multiple groups, let's say you want to divide these fields into multiple different groupings, you can create your own groups and you can assign those fields to the groups whatever you want, in the way you want, right? So as of now, there is only one group, and that is the reason you can see all the fields are coming under the single group. But if you want to divide this into two, first thing you need to create a second group here. Okay, and then whenever you are defining the fields, you have to tell the system this field will come under which group. Okay, and obviously you have the option of specifying which field is mandatory, which field is optional. So you can see processor field as of now is mandatory. If you want to make it optional, or if you want to make any other field mandatory, or if you want to hide particular field, you can control it from here. Okay, so I'll just make it as it is. This was my one, and Kunar was my second field. Clear on this? Now you understood what is attribute profile? Attribute profile determines the sequence, the fields which are going to appear in your UDM_dispute cases. Okay, and also I told you, if you see this table now, see there are these fields. Now who is, from where these fields are coming? What if I want to add a new field here? So as of now there are 35 fields, right? I can see there are 35 fields in my UDM_dispute header data section. If I want to reduce this, for reduction, I can just simply delete that particular field from here. But what if I want to add something new? If you want to add a field, first of all, that field should appear here. Okay, so in this one, I can see there are 51 fields, out of which we are only using 35, which means there is a option to add additional 16 fields. But let's assume the field that I am looking for, that is not available in this particular table. Okay, so where exactly these 51 entries are coming from? These 51 entries are coming from this particular table. You can see this is a table. Okay, so if you want to add some Z field which is not appearing currently in those 51, then you need to add those Z fields into the structure. In this particular structure, you have to take the help of ABAP. Okay, let's say you want to add any Z field which is not available in the standard system. You want to capture anything extra. So in order to capture that extra field, first of all, that field should be added into this particular structure, and then only you'll be able to use that field. Clear on this?
Yes, Bikram. And suppose if I have to add a customer recon account, so then we have to take above help in the standard field,
If you
because
want
that.
to add customer, yeah, if you want to add a customer recon account, first thing you need to verify whether it is already pre-delivered in this particular 51 fields or not. If it is not available, then definitely you need to first add those fields in this structure, and then from this structure, once the fields are available in this structure, you can use those fields and add it here. Okay, so for example, if I go for new entry, and if I want a recon account which is not available today, let's see if it is available. Okay, you can see I think there is no recon account available here, but if you want to add that, you have to tell the ABAP from where exactly that recon account will be picked. Okay, so based on what logic you want to pick that recon account. So based on that, they will add the new field into the structure, into this technical table. And once it is available in this technical table, you can use it very easily in this particular screen.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so this is attribute profile. So based on whatever attribute profile, I think we created an attribute profile, which is Z underscore, which one we created? I think Z underscore DISP. Let's see here itself. Yeah, Z underscore DISP, this is what we created. So what we will do is, once we complete our profiles, we will assign our own profiles to the newly created case type. Okay, so let's come out of this attribute profile and go to the next one, which is case search. Okay, in case search, again, you can see create a profile for case search. Okay, what exactly is this? Create a profile for case search. So see what is happening here. Whenever you are in this transaction, there is an option to find the dispute case. Okay, so which means you can search for a particular dispute case based on the different criteria. This is the selection criteria. So currently in my selection criteria, I can see processor, I can see status, I can see case ID. Okay, but I want to see something which is not appearing here. For example, company code is not appearing here. I want to look for all those cases which belongs to the particular company code. So as of now, company code field is not appearing in my case search profile. Right. So if you want to add that, what you need to do is you need to again open this create profile for case search. Okay, again, which profile are you using? So for disputes management, I think the standard one is this one, fin_loc. Just verify it whether this is what we are using. So for search profile, it is not showing here. Okay, let's see in the next screen. I think it will show. So if you go to case search profile, let's use this first of all, fin_loc. And if you open this, you can see selection fields. So these are the fields which are available to you whenever you want to do the search for a particular case. Okay, and you can see which fields you want to appear in your screen. Okay, so in this case, if I want to add something new, let's click on the new entry. You have to tell the system this will come under which row and which column, and then from the case attributes you can select any particular field. So in our case, we decided we are going to add a company code field here. Okay, so let's try to find out the company code. Okay, and first we need to check what row and column is available. So first of all, I want to cancel, and what is available? So row number 6 is already utilized. I can create it as row number 7 and column number 1. So row number 7, column number 1, and my case attribute is company code, and I want to use this as a selection field. This is selection is optional or not. So this is a selection option. Let's try to save it. Okay, so first I'll show you this selection fields, and then we will talk about the modifiable fields. So again, if I go back to my case, let me go back and come again. So UDM_dispute. Okay, and within this, if you click on cases and go to find dispute case. Okay, so you can see now company code field is appearing, and it is appearing as the 7th row and the first column. Okay, 7th row and the first column, and you are able to select from here. Right, so this is the property of search. Okay, so if you want to change anything in your search profile, if you want to add or delete a particular field from the search profile, you can do it from this particular transaction. Okay, next one is modifiable fields. Modifiable fields means which fields you can modify. So once you let's do this first. So if I go to case type maintenance, sorry, not this one, dispute management. So I want to see all the cases for company code FSCM. Click on search. Okay, now you can see this, all the cases that you created for this particular company code, they are appearing here. Now out of these fields, what you are able to see here, which fields are modifiable. Okay, so for example, if I want to modify a priority, or I want to modify the processor, which fields I can modify, that you can define here. So in this particular case, you can see I can change these 3 fields. I can change the escalation reason, I can change the processor, or I can change the status. Okay, this is a technical name, but this is nothing but status. So based on this, if you go to the dispute management case, and from here if you try to change, you can see it is showing you 3 options: escalation reason, processor, or status. So you can select. For example, I want to change the processor of these 2 lines. Okay, maybe first one is already voided, so should not change. Let's go ahead with this 2. I want to change the processor, or I want to change the escalation reason. So what I'll do is I will open this, go to escalation reason, specify whatever escalation reason I want to enter here, and click on OK, and just press this one. So you'll be able to see the escalation reason has been changed. Okay, so this is controlling which field is allowed to be changed. If I remove the escalation reason from here, from this one, then what will happen? That field I will not be able to modify under this UDM underscore dispute transaction under the search profile. So search profile controls which fields are available for selection and which fields are available for modification. Okay, let's go back to the configuration once again. So this is my standard case profile. If you want to create your own, again I'll just create a copy. Okay, and I'll maybe create my own, let's say Z. I'm maintaining the same thing, which is, let's say, Z underscore DM. Okay, again you can see the table name is same, and within this I want to keep it copy first of all, and then whatever changes I want to make, I will make the changes as per my requirement. What I'll do is I already added one field, which is company code. So let me delete that particular field from the standard case profile. So selection fields, let me remove this, which I added manually. Okay, let's go back now. Create element type for case search. Let me show you what exactly is this. Okay, this is, again you can see this is the element type within this area. So okay, as of now just forget about this. This is not required as of now. This is completely technical. We will talk if required. Next one, I'll go for the function profile. Function profile again is related to this transaction. So within this transaction, if I open a particular case, so again I'll go to my dispute cases, and from here let's say I want to open this particular case. Now you can see what are the different functions I can perform. Okay, in this dispute case, what are the different things I can do? You can see there, these are the different buttons which are provided by SAP. So I can click on change display. So the first button is change or display. Second button is to save. Third button is to print. Fourth button is to refresh. Fifth button, similarly, you can see there are a lot of different buttons here. These are called as functions. These are all the functions that are supported in disputes management. Okay, so for example, I want to change the position. I want to keep save first and then change or display, or maybe if a particular function is not available, I want to bring it into this particular function menu. In that case, that can be done from the function profile. Okay, so for function profile, again you will go to create function profile, and within create function profile you will be again able to see for dispute management the standard delivered profile is fin underscore disp. Okay, again if you open this and double click on allowed functions, so you can see these are the different functions. You can see save, what is this, Racy? I'll show you directly in the system. You can change the toggle the display and change button. This is the first button. You can see this is the first button. Okay, the second button is save. The third button is print. Fourth button is refresh. And fifth button is, let's see, what is this fifth button? Fifth button is reduce the attributes. Okay, so if you click on this, you will not be able to see this. This is just to open or close the case, this one. All right, so you can click on this. It will close this particular tab. If you want to open it once again you can click on this button. Okay, so like this, you can see there are different functions which are pre-delivered by SAP. So which function you want to use, which function you want to hide, which function you don't want to use, all those things are provided here. Okay, so this one is whether you want to have a gap in between. So this separator after the button. So you can see after refresh button and in between this RESI button, there is a gap. You'll be able to see this gap here. See, there is a gap, right? Similarly, there is a gap between print button and refresh button. So there is a gap after the print button. So let's see if that option is ticked. So after the print button, I think this is before or after. Let's see. So what is this? Separator after the button. Yeah, after print there is no separator, but still it shows you some, maybe it is because of this. So this is to specify the space. If you want to have any space in between, then you can use this as a separator. Okay, so based on what exactly you want to see in this function menu, that you can control from this particular function profile. Okay, and you can club also, you can club multiple things. So this is standard pre-delivered. So for example, you can see, let me show you one example. So first of all, this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, these are very clear. If you see from the sixth one onwards, what is the sixth one? It is showing this to void the dispute case. So for that, let's see if there is anything available here. What is the sixth position? So you can see sixth position is status reopen. Okay, reopen or close. This is, you can, sorry, you can see the status void here, and you can see the status reopen here and the status accept here. But you can see the icon is same, and you can see these are not used while the time of creation and display. So you can hide something from here. You can see there are some fields which are hidden. Let me show you. So while creation, void button will not be displayed. When you are creating the case, at that time void button will not be displayed. But if you are changing, okay, if you are changing it, then void will apply. Void is appearing. Okay, so not for modify, if it is ticked, then for the modification it will not apply. So in this case, what is happening? Accept and reopen, we are not able to see. Why? Because it is very clearly told to the system that please don't consider this two buttons at the time of modification. We are currently doing the modification, right? So if I click on this, you can see those buttons are not appearing. Why those buttons are not appearing? Because those buttons are not applicable at the time of modification. Only void button is applied. So if I just untick on void also, if I tick on this void also, then what will happen? Even the void button will not appear. Okay, but that tick or untick, I cannot do it from here. If I want to add, or if I want to do this tick or untick, that I have to do from the other activity that you need to do from function profile, define the functions. So here if you go, okay, and for void, so if you want to see this for void, status void, okay, this is where you need to tick or untick. So you can say for void also, I don't want to show this at the time of modification, which is wrong actually, because at the time of modification, if you want to void a particular case, it should be allowed. Okay, but just for the testing purpose, I'm trying to save it. Okay, and then again, what I'll do is I'll go to UDM underscore dispute. So if I go for my dispute cases, and if I open a particular dispute case here, you can see now, let me go to the change mode. This is appearing, but it is hidden. It is not allowing you to change the status. Right, so those things you can control from this function profile. Okay, if you want to say no display, even you can do that. So it will not appear at the time of displaying the particular case. So one is creation, second is modification, third is display, and next one is button with the menu. Okay, so these are all the different things which are provided by SAP, and the action, you can see what action it will do. So when you click on the void button, what exactly the action should be done, that is also defined here. Okay, so these are all standard. We don't need to change this, but just understand that if there is a requirement that I want to make some adjustment into my function profile, that this particular function should not appear here, then you can simply go to this particular function profile and you can change the behavior of the system accordingly. Also, these functions, whatever functions are available here, this can be controlled through the authorization also. Okay, so it doesn't mean that if the void is available here, it would be visible to all the different users. So for example, there is one user to whom you don't want to provide the void access. He can come here, but he cannot void a particular case. Okay, maybe you want to just give the display access to that particular user. So that can also be controlled via the authorizations. Clear on function profile? So what we understood till now, three things. We understood the attribute profile. Attribute profile means the fields, whether this field should appear, if they appear, in which column, in which row they should appear. Number two that we understood is the function profile. In the function profile, what we understood, what functions are available to the user. Okay, so whether he can print or he can save or he can void, what options will be available to the user, that can be controlled via the function profile. And third one is the search profile. So if I'm searching for a particular contract, what are the different options I want to do, I want to see via the search. And second, once I search it, what are the different options available to modify, which fields I can modify by this particular screen. Okay, let's go to the next one. Let me come out of this, close this function profile and go to the text profile. Now what is text profile? Okay, this is the technical object. We don't need to go into this one, but let's go to the create text profile. If you go to create text profile, again, for disputes management, fin underscore disp, you can maybe, let's first copy it, create our own, which is z underscore disp, and whatever change you want to do. So what exactly is this? First of all, I'll say copy all, and then whatever changes I need, I will make those changes. So if I go to text IDs, you can see these are the different type of text that I can maintain in the notes section. Let me show you. So if you are in the dispute case, okay, let me open my dispute cases and let me go to any one of this. Let's open this. Okay, here you can see you can maintain the notes. You can enter the different type of notes here. If I click on the notes, okay, first of all, I need to be in the change mode if I want to make any changes. So let's go to the change mode. And here you can see I can maintain different type of text. I can enter different type of things that I need to enter. So for example, if I want to enter some text here, what are the different options? So if you click on this description, see it is giving you this option. You can enter the description, or you can write the internal note, or you can write some reply, concluding remark. These are all text. Where exactly they are coming from? They are coming from your text ID profile. See the sequence also. The first one is description, the second one is internal note, the third one is reply, fourth one is concluding remark. So if I add additional one here, in my case, again, if I do it in my case, then I'll not be able to show you here. So what I'll do is I will add that in the standard delivered text profile. Okay, so let's click on new. Let's give it 0005. Let me write the sequence as 7. Okay, so this description I think is coming automatically. Let's try to save it. Okay, and now you can see there is a 7th position which is applicable. So if you go to your case, let's again go back and come to this transaction so that the changes are applicable. So cases, my dispute cases, if I double click on any of this, and if I want to add a new description, okay, so first I need to be in the note section. In the note section, I will click on description, and you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The note is something which I entered just now. Okay, so this is coming as a 7th position. Okay, so what is the importance of this? The importance of this is whenever, see why you are creating a dispute case. Once you create a dispute case, you will be chasing with your internal departments. Okay, so customer has created a dispute case. Now you as a processor are responsible to get the requirements from the business to tell the business that this is the dispute case which is raised by the customer, and your internal teams will be providing you the necessary inputs. Okay, so whether it is justifiable or not, what price you agreed, there are multiple things. Maybe they will be also sending you the mails that these are the mails that we agreed with the customer. So all those things you are actually going to capture in this particular dispute case. So whenever you are getting any input from the user, from the maybe let's say sales team, you are going to enter that information in this particular dispute case. So you can segregate that information, what type of information it is. If you write everything in the description, then you will not be able to categorize. But if you want to keep it clear that this is what kind of information that you are entering, you can create multiple text IDs here. Okay, and also some of the text IDs, for example, internal note. This, although you are able to enter here, but you want to make sure that whatever internal notes you are entering, those are only applicable internally. Okay, so if you want to send the status of this particular dispute case to the customer, you can send all the description that you have entered except the one which is internal. Internal means it should not go to the external party. It should not go to the customer as a correspondence, right? Even the business users, if you have 10 users within the organization, again, based on the text IDs, you can control which information will be visible to which user. So if you say that for a particular user, I don't want to show the invisible information, I don't want to show the sensitive internal note information, that can be also done with the help of authorization team. Okay, so this is the text profile which will allow you to enter different kind of notes in your dispute case.
Hey Vikram, could you please just I'm following you on my system, but I didn't find those options which you showed under the notes node icon. Here,
Sorry, can you come again?
notes here. No, notes up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you just need to click on note and then you need to click on this.
Okay, I don't have it.
First,
Okay.
you need to click on notes and then only you'll be able to see this. If your object is here, linked object, then it will show you these things. But if you click on notes, then only it will show you the other options. You
okay,
can see
thank
now?
you. I don't have it. It's okay.
You still don't have? Okay, maybe you need to check whether the in your system, if the text profile is assigned to your dispute case type.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, let's go to the next one. So this is about text profile. Next one is status management. Okay, the name itself is very clear, status management. So which is talking about the status of your case. Okay, so you can see whenever you create a dispute case, there are different statuses here. You can create normally whenever you create a new dispute case, by default, the system will give the status of new. Okay, and then once as a processor you start working on this, you will convert to the being processed. See, this is very much same as we discussed yesterday also. This is very much same as the ticketing tool that we use for our support projects. So whenever any person is like any user is raising a ticket, he is entering all the details on the ticket, and then your manager uh, assigns that ticket to you. So you become the processor in that particular case. And normally whenever you are getting any new ticket, the by default the status is new, right? And then as soon as it is assigned to you, what you do is first of all you make it being processed or in process, so that you can work on it. And once you completed your work on it, you can just, after the solution, based on whatever are the different statuses, you will say either it is solved or it is closed or maybe additional information required. So whatever additional things that you want to enter, you can enter it here. So that is exactly what we need to see in the status. What are the different statuses you want to keep? Okay, so by default SAP provides some statuses, but if you want to create your own status and you want the user to use that status whenever they are creating a dispute case or processing a dispute case, that can be available here. Okay, so what are the different statuses available by SAP? Let's